Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager of the Swindon Swoodilypoopers. There's a ginger over there. I don't see his name though. And we are currently 5th in the league behind only Watford, Sunderland, Bolton, and Southampton. We can do this, guys. We're playing Derby County today. Whatever. I'm going to talk about Canada. My great secret love for Canada. My complicated relationship with Canada. Some people call it America's hat. Some people call us Canada's pants. But first, let me give you a squad update. We're starting Bandolovsky, Dave Matthews Bandolovsky, out on the defensive wing today, along with he who shall not be named. The Gingers, McShane and Rampage, anchoring the defense up front. We have Leroy Williamson and other John Green, now known just as John Green due to the departure of bald John Green, which we still grieve, or at least I do. I don't feel like the club has been the same without him, and we've been suffering, having difficult times. So, Canada is a nation of 30 million people. It is to the north of the United States. And Americans often make the following comments about Canadians. One, they are very polite. Two, they are a little bit silly because of their pacifism and their universal health care. And the fact that they live longer lives than Americans, have higher quality of life despite having a lower per capita GDP, and generally seem to have it all figured out. We respond to this by being like, well, yes, but we drive innovation and blah, 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 blah crap. The truth is, Canada is a better place to live than the United States. It's very difficult to argue otherwise because there are not a lot of quantifiable metrics by which Canada does not beat us. We win, like I said, we win per capita GDP, but that doesn't actually matter because how much money you make is not nearly as important as how happy, oh God, and fulfilled you are in your life, and how healthy you are, and how long you live, and the level of security that you feel, and all of that stuff. All of which is higher if you are Canadian than if you are American. This should be something of an embarrassment to Americans, but strangely it isn't. The argument I have often heard is, well, they do live 3 years longer than us, but it's the last 3 years, which is, oh God, this is a terrible place to give up a free kick. Oh, I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. Oh! Look at that green eggs and Fotheringham save. It's a reaction save, my favorite kind, where he's just like, yeah, just reaches out and lets his beautiful hands do all the work. Look at him go, look at him trying to get the crew fired up. We aren't playing very well. I think that's why he's trying to get us excited. Ooh, that could have gone anywhere. So, yeah, but in fact, it is not the last 3 years of life that Canadians get. It's a general overall higher quality of health and well-being throughout their lives, which allows them to do a lot of things well. They're also much less likely to die from gun violence, even though they own a lot of guns, and are much less likely to be the victims of other violent crimes. And yeah. There aren't a lot of places where we are beating Canada right now. Our governance is probably more dysfunctional than theirs, although theirs is pretty dysfunctional at times. I will say, we tend to beat them in hockey, even though it's their national sport, so that's something. But all in all, in terms of quality of life, there can be very little question that you are better off today being born in Canada than being born in the United States. This is a fairly dramatic reversal from 50 years ago, when you would almost definitely would rather be born in the United States, and it speaks to like some fundamental changes in U.S. Like culture and also like political policy, or not political policy, and policy that have been I think pretty bad for us. Very late to comprehensive healthcare coverage and pretty spotty about it. I think the Affordable Care Act, which I guess everybody is now calling Obamacare, I think it's going to. I mean, certainly it's going to help a lot of people who didn't have insurance get insurance, which is good. But it's not going to bring down costs that much, which is the real like sort of overarching problem with the U.S. healthcare system. And I mean, it might sound like I'm harping on healthcare as a metric for quality of life, but it is an awfully important one because in the United States, it's 16% of our GDP goes to healthcare costs. Oh, Leroy Williamson couldn't get it in the net, and that's a huge percentage of sort of our overall costs. Now there are some things that may not be like, I mean, there are some sort of benefits that Canada has, relatively sparse population, lots of natural resources that allow them to kind of have some advantages over us, like, and also we have better weather, more variety of weather, so in that sense you might rather be American if weather is very important to you, but I'm more of an inside cat. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the reason that we sort of like make fun of Canada or you know, or dismiss it or say that what Canada does isn't really like relevant or relevant to us or replicable by us is because it's kind of embarrassing to acknowledge the truth, because the truth is pretty unambiguously that in fact most of what Canada does, even though they do have more like resources per person, and they have valuable resources per person, which makes which maybe the U.S. doesn't have to the same degree. But like most of it, in fact, is doable. We would just need a very different like political system. But I feel like it calls. Oh, that was almost a cross goal, our first ever cross goal. I feel like on some level, you know, you like. Most of the ideas that we have, that we think of as American ideas, the political ideas of freedom and free expression, freedom of press, freedom of religious expression, the ability to vote when you're 18, citizenship, all of that stuff. Like they're doing all that stuff, so we can't really claim any of that. Oh, get it! Oh, it's a goal! Yes, at long last, and he does the robot. Oh, he's big, he's tough, he has a brilliant puff. Other John Green. What a finish. Right between the legs of two men. He said, "Oh, I noticed that you both have legs. I think I will go beneath your nuts into the goal." Oh, there we go. It's 1-0. Now we've got to do the thing that we suck the most at. Hold on to a lead. What happened there? Oh, I was fouled. It was, yes, you should have a discussion about why you were naughty. By the way, their thing is a sheep. Their mascot is a sheep. That's it, because that's extremely intimidating. Nothing says I'm going to get you like, look at my sheep. Oh, why do we pass to other people when we have free kicks? Why is that a thing that we do? Swindon? You're better than that, boys. If we give up a goal for this, I'm going to be very angry. That was a nice tackle there. Come on, focus, stay focused, stay focused. Yeah, so I don't know. I have a great love for Canada, and frankly, on some level, quite a bit of jealousy toward it, because I think they do most of what we do well, pretty darn well. Oh gosh, and they do a lot of other things that we don't do well. And you know, I know that there are some disadvantages. I don't want to make it sound like Canada is heaven or anything, because it definitely isn't. But you know, the quality of life and care there is pretty high on average, and it's a relatively good place to be. I mean, relative to the rest of the world. It's a relatively good place to be poor. It's a relatively good place to be middle class, and it's also not that bad of a place to be rich. And that's a rare combo. Now, I will say, I still think the United States is probably the best place in the world to be rich. Maybe Dubai, I don't know. But of the places I've been, the U.S. seems like it's the best. But, you know, relatively few people are rich. And also, like, I don't know. Ginger McShane just got a foul. I've just never. I've always thought that that's not a great metric by which to measure the success of a country. The real question is like, oh God, oh God, oh God, everything's fine. The real question is, how do you measure success? Like, because I guess it depends on what you want out of life, whether or not Canada is the best, or Sweden is the best, or the United States is the best. So let me pose the question to you: what do you want out of life? Oh, could have been a cross goal, but it isn't. Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Not like what should a country provide, you know, to make you like feel like it's doing its job. Oh, get it, get it, get it. Oh, what a beautiful finish. Let me see if I can do something else. Nope, all I can do is the robot. I don't know any celebrations, guys. I used the D-pad maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's 2-0. It's 2-0. We've won. I think we've won 2 consecutive games now. This is fantastic. This is what we need, because we really. So for those of you who haven't been watching closely this season, we're in the championship, the second tier of English football. We really need to finish in the top 2 because the top 2 both get to go to the Premier League, and then if you're between 3 and 6, you've got to do this horrible thing called the playoffs. And the playoffs are extremely stressful because you've got to win 2 games in a row in order to get to the Premier League, and I really don't want to do that. I really, that does not sound fun to me. High stress games, they really take it out of me. It's amazing how real this is to me, how much I care about it, how much the Swoodilypoopers matter to me, and how much I don't want to disappoint our supporters who are real. So thank you for being among them, and congratulations to Wesley Crusher Foderingham on another excellent shutout. Is that what they call them? I don't know. Best wishes.